All right, so in terms of the client development side of things, so it seems like you're not using so much CRM software to keep it staying on top.
No.
But first, a message from our sponsor. SE Rankings is a top-rated SEO platform designed to help agencies and businesses of all sizes automate their daily tasks and make data-driven decisions. You can get your 14 free day trial at seranking.com. Check it out.
Well, this is a sore point. This is a sore point. No, so we have a, so I do a lot of business development. We have another guy on the team who actually leads business development. He actually uses Streak to track all the kind of transactional side of it. And we're actually looking for something for partner management. We have something that we're looking at right now because the interesting thing for us is like our client, we have account managers, we have 20 account managers, and they manage the different accounts, and they're on top of it. And there's a system that they use, which is slipping my mind right now. Oh, Jira. I think we're using Jira for tracking literally everything we do there, so that when an account manager goes out on maternity leave or or moves to a different position or something, someone else can take over fairly seamlessly. We know exactly what's been done. We know what's in process. We know there's tracking of phone calls and everything. But on the business development side, the most interesting thing for us is really partners. And so, but it's interesting because I really have a personal relationship with lots of partners. We did an analysis last year, and we found that there had been 40 PR firms who had referred clients to us over the last 3 years. And none of them were like, as much as even 10% of our clients. So it's like really spread out among a very large group. And I don't want to manage those, I don't really like emailings where you send out like 1,000 emails and it's basically the same email, whatever. So like
the drip stuff.
Yeah. So I like actually to I know who the people are. I send them emails that I think are appropriate. I actually spend the time to communicate with them personally. Try to see them when they're in town. If I see something that's interesting, kind of relate. I follow everybody. I think LinkedIn is really important.
Fish and books.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was reminding Barry that I guess it was like 3 or 4 years ago. I did a campaign where I sent 1,000 fish. It was literally like a plastic fish wrapped in a newspaper, and I sent it out to 1,000 different communications professionals, mostly in the New York area. And we didn't even say who we were, which was really interesting. Some people were not as interested. Some people actually were a little bit threatened by this because they thought that it was.
I thought it was like one of these SEOs playing a game on it. So.
I
was threatened by it. But.
Right.
Yeah.
But the follow up was we sent this email that said to people, we said actually a letter to people that said, hey, you may be wondering about that fish, and then it says, we believe that your old news should be like, it should be used to wrap a fish in, not to. It shouldn't be on the first page of Google. But yeah, we try to do things that are kind of engaging and interesting, and it works. I think it works because I think no one really wants to get no one wants to get a boring newsletter. If you're giving them up to date news that's really interesting or whatever, then that's one thing. But people like a personal kind of relationship, and so we kind of go for quality rather than quantity. So I'm not in communication with 1,000 people regularly, but it's more like 100.
So it seems to me that you focus more in on the people that not necessarily going to hire you, but who will recommend you to their clients.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Because they're the trusted advisors. The other thing that we do, which I think is important on the agency side, is that we don't compete with any of them. We don't offer any services that they offer. So I think it's very tempting when you're a SEO agency or a reputation management agency to say, well, we should probably do social media. We should do social media tracking. And like a client comes to you and goes, oh, I've got another $10,000 a month budget. If you could just do media monitoring for me, if you could, and you're like, oh, how hard would that be? I'll just get a media monitoring, software or whatever, and a SaaS or whatever. And so it's really tempting, I think, to add on services. And we've kind of resisted the temptation. We've said, let's stay in the lane of digital reputation management, Google, Wikipedia.
It's kind of like doctors. They refer business to each other based on their specialty, but don't step each other's foot.
Exactly. So I actually had a call today with a company that does data, certain particular type of data. They sell data kind of, and they one of the guys on the call was the SEO guy, and he was kind of on a little bit on his hind legs when the call started, because he's like, wait, we actually do all the SEO, we do all the competitive, and I was like, all right, so we don't touch the competitive stuff. We're only on the brand. Everything we were going to hand in hand. So I think I would say on an agency side, choosing a lane and staying in that lane, and then going really, really deep into that lane. It's really hard to compete with someone who goes extremely deep and is always getting deeper, but not going wide. You go wide, you start to, literally I heard from my own beloved team, someone every so often someone will say, we should probably get a web designer and start building websites because there's a lot of money in that. How hard could that be? And the answer is, it's really hard. The thing you don't know is really easy
Right.
until you try to do it, and then it's really hard. So
Right.
we won't take money from people for doing things that we don't know, that we're not the experts in. Like
Got it. That's good. That's smart. Okay. Let's move on to pricing. So one thing I remember, like